You have a dream, you have initiative, there's a goal, and you are pouring your heart into it. It just seems to be moving like molasses in December, or it's like the universe just cooks something up to derail the whole thing. And you want it, but dang, you're tired of working that hard and wondering if it's ever going to take off. What do you do? Well, today I'm going to give you, I need to check and see how many tips I'm giving you. I think I'm giving you 5. Yes, 5 keys to continue your forward momentum when it just feels like everything has frozen up. So if you like what you're hearing, drop hearts and thumbs up in the comment section so I know what's resonating with you. And to get support from others, whether you're watching this live or watching the replay. And if you want my training notes and you want to know how to plug into my upcoming masterclass, put the word persistent. And Severina, my assistant, put it in the comment section so you'll know how to spell it correctly. I had to spell check to make sure I got it correct, but guess what? You don't have to know how to spell it in order to be able to activate your persistence. So the word is persistent, Persistent. My name is Felicia Searcy, and it is my joy to be your partner in believing. I have had the honor of serving the dreams of thousands of people around the world. And it is my joy to be here serving you and knowing with unwavering belief that if you can dream it up, you can do it. So you have hey, Lonnie, good to see you, Lonnie. Lonnie, you know what it is to be persistent, as you have been dogged in your dream and your desire and staring down all the voices that want to tell you otherwise and listen to the voice of truth. Brian, it's really good to see you. Hey, Susan, Susan, you're another one who's persistent. Catch me up, Susan. I would love to know what's going on with you. All right, so here's the deal. You have this burning desire. You know, Susan, you're building out this amazing coaching business of helping people really develop their abundance. You know, Lonnie has a brilliant business where she is supporting people in living into their best selves by taking care of this outer covering, our skin, and just really helping people dive into deep self-care. You know, I know that you're building out this amazing financial assistance business. So every single one of you have something, whether it's in your vocation or in your relationships or in your health, that there's your freedom in your calendar and in your checkbook. There's something that drives you to come watch these live broadcasts. You have a dream, you have a desire. And I know that some of you have been pouring energy into your initiative. And there are times when it just feels like it's like you're slugging through molasses in December, someplace up north, not in Southern California where it never gets cold, but someplace where it get, you know, where Susan is in Montana, and it's like the molasses freezes. And it just, no matter how hard you work, it just feels like you just can't get anything moving. And so you start wondering, am I really supposed to be doing this? Should I hang it up and go back and do something else that's proven, that I know I can be successful at because I've been successful in the past? You know, but deep down, there's this voice that says, no, you don't want to do that. If you know you don't want to do that, put a thumbs up in the comment section that you don't want to give up on this dream. You don't want to give up on this desire, on this initiative. You know, I have so been there, and I've been there several times throughout my process. It's not like you break through it once and it's smooth sailing. That, you know, throughout the process, oftentimes there are those stuck points. You just hit those ceilings that no matter what you do, you're just not able to break through it. You know, I did it before. That happened for me before I really got engaged at this level with this work, with the level of support and mentoring that I have. And I've experienced it even in this process where, I reached a certain point. No matter what I did, I was not breaking beyond that point. And I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to be doing. I thought that I couldn't be doing anything more. And I got to tell you, there was a part of me that started questioning. I got offered a job. I actually got offered a position with a company that I deeply love and deeply respected to come work doing this, as a instructor, as a coach. And, I thought long and hard, but I kept coming back to realizing that this is what I wanted. As attractive as that was, and believe me, it was attractive. As attractive as it was, I realized that it was a watered down version of what it was that I really wanted. And I didn't want to live my life in a good, but yet watered down version of what it was that I really wanted. And so, again, if you're relating to any of this, drop some hearts and some thumbs up in the comment section. So I know I'm not alone. And you're not alone in this. And let me share with you what I discovered because of my willingness to stay persistent with this formula and what I knew to be true. So, number one, what do you do when you are just facing that deep sense of discouragement? It's not just disappointment, but that feeling of discouragement. What do you do when you're bumping up against that feeling of discouragement, wondering, hey, Jean, yes, you get this. So what do you do? All right. So number one, and let me see if I can, I was going to do an agenda. I don't know where it is. Anyway, number one, you want to go back to your desire. You want to fan the flame of your desire. So number one, you want to go back to your desire. So let me do this. Let me put it in the comment section. Go back and fan the flame of your desire. That's number one. Go back and fan the flame of your desire. One of the things that I help people understand, when I have a conversation with people and we're digging into your dream and, you've got my eyes on your thinking, that you're allowing me the privilege of having access to your dream and to your thinking. One of the questions that I will ask is, how committed are you to changing whatever the situation is? And how committed are you to really living into this initiative, into this desire? And I give you a range. And so right now I invite you to think about, how committed are you to whatever the initiative is? And the range is between 1 to 10. And oftentimes people will say, well, I'm really committed. I'm really committed. And I support them and I stay with them until they give me a number. So they actually give themselves a number, because it doesn't have anything to do with me. And so right now, bring your initiative to mind. And when you think about that initiative, you think about that life, you think about the conversations that you're having when you're living that life. How committed are you to bringing that into the facts of your life? And the range is 1 to 10. 1 to 10. And if you're willing, put the numbers in the comment section or write it down at the very least, so you can see for yourself. Well, here's the deal. If it's anything less than a 10, even in the midst of that place of disappointment, if it's anything less than a 10, that voice for the familiar, the inertia, the addiction to the status quo has wiggle room. Think about it from this perspective. If you think about water, what happens when water is at a temperature of 211? The 211 degrees Fahrenheit. What do you have with water? Type it into the comment section, whether you're watching this live or the replay. Well, I'm going to tell you what you have. You have really hot water. Now, what happens at 212? When water hits the temperature of 212 degrees Fahrenheit, now water changes to steam. It's boiling. You literally have a phase change in that water. Now you're able to harness the power of the steam and put it in service to lighting up entire cities, running turbines in order to provide electricity for entire cities. Yes, Brian, at 211 you have hot water. At 212 you've got power to light up entire cities. That's the difference between a 9 and a 10. A 9, you have, you're almost there, but nothing gets accomplished at an almost there. When you're at a 10, now you have power to harness and put it in service to your dream. So there's a process. You have to be willing to go back and fan the flame of your desire. Really cause yourself to remember, why did you want this in the first place? And what would life be like without it? So you have to imagine what your life would be like without this initiative. If you're laying on your deathbed and you've got your head on your pillow and you're reviewing your life and you look at your life without this initiative, pay attention to your life force. What's the conversation that your energy is having with you about not going for it? And if it's, yeah, I'm good, then move on to something else. But if you're honest with yourself and you're really hearing the voice of regret, it's like, why didn't I stay with it? Why didn't I stay with it long enough to really let it play out and show itself to me? Don't do that. Don't do that. So go back and courageously, boldly fan the flame of your desire. When I thought about not having this, even at that place of my, the most frustration, the biggest disappointment, I thought, I can't go back to that. I just can't. I gotta know that this has got to work. All right. So number 1, fan the flame of your desire. Number 2, and I've talked about this before and I'm bringing it back again because it's so important. Number 2, you want to become uber focused on the small changes. You want to become uber attentive to celebrating what seem to be the small steps along the way. I compare it to planting a tree. We put plants in, and if you plant an oak tree, and you literally started from a seed. Yes, oak trees start from a seed. And you put a seed in the ground. Luce knows about this because she's a brilliant gardener and landscaper. You put a seed in the ground and that seed starts sprouting up. And you look at that sprout and you go, ugh, I don't want a sprout. And you start stomping on the sprout. And you say, I don't want a sprout. I want an oak tree. I want an oak tree. And forgetting that the oak tree started as a sprout. So you want to get down on your hands and knees and you want to pour love on that sprout. And you want to celebrate the sprout. Think about if you've had kids around you. I have a granddaughter who's turning 16. And actually next week, we got to get on getting her birthday present ordered for her. Little side note here. She sent us this text, Grandpa and Mimi, here's what I want. And it's, the exact pair of shoes and size and color. And so I got to make sure my husband got it ordered. But so anyway, back to what we're talking about. I can remember when she was little and when she was starting to take little baby steps. We didn't say, Allie, you should be walking like an adult. Baby steps are bad. No, we said, her mom and her daddy. And when we were around, say, oh, come on. And she'd take that teetering, tottering step and we'd say, yay, look at you. Yes, Severina. That's the kind of stuff I should be turning over to you. Get this thing ordered for us as my assistant. So it's the same thing when you're building out an initiative, when you're pouring energy into something that you love. It's not. It's paying super close attention to when things are shifting. Because remember, we live in a universe that's responsive, that's generative, that is creative. And what's the thing that it's responding to? It's responding to our energy. And what creates our energy? It's the images that we are mentally rehearsing in this faculty of our imagination. And what generates the images? It's where we place our attention. And so if we are placing our attention on movement and we're saying that movement is not enough, effectively the universe just shuts it down and says, fine, good. You don't want that, then we'll just shut it down altogether. It's, you know, you can just see the universe kind of getting a little attitude saying, if you don't appreciate what's going on there, then we are certainly not going to pour any more energy into us. You know, it's a conversation that when you're paying attention to the small things, effectively you're having a conversation with yourself and with the universe, and you're saying, I'm a good steward of the smaller transformations that are happening. I'm celebrating those. And the universe says, all right, so you're growing your capacity. So now we can bring more to you because you're showing that you can handle. You're able to be present and appreciate and know what to do when things begin to move. So number one, burning desire. Number two, celebrate the small, the incremental changes that happen along the way. Now, if you want my notes, and know that there's a lot that comes to me when I am doing this, and so the notes will have the basics, and this is where I get to ad lib and add to it. If you want the notes and you want information about how to sign up for my masterclass, put the word persistent. Persistent. Do I have it right? Yes, I see Brian put the word persistent. Put the word persistent in the comment section, and my team will make sure that we get that to you. All right, number three. If you're pouring energy and you're paying attention to the small changes and you have a burning desire, chances are underlying it, there is yay, Susan! I will look forward to seeing you on the masterclass that's coming up. All right, I get excited when I see people taking action. If things aren't moving, chances are there's an underlying belief that's holding you back. Our beliefs define the way we see ourselves, and it dictates how much good, how much freedom, how much abundance we will allow into our life. So when things don't really seem to be moving, then chances are there's an underlying belief that's like driving with the brake on. So, you know, for example, when I felt that stuck point in my business, even in the midst of being in this environment, in this container, you know what? I'm going to interrupt for a second because I got something in my teeth and I'm just seeing it and just being totally transparent. So it's distracting me. So I know it's got to be distracting you. And I apologize. I didn't check my smile before coming on. I checked everything else. So give me just a second to go off, get it out of my teeth, and come back so I can stay focused on what's important. This is what it is to be human, and here's what it is to be imperfect. All right, give me just a second. All right, I'm back. Okay, so please put some laugh out louds as I show, if I just strip it down and show my humanity here. Okay, so there's a belief. All right, so that belief would have been, oh my God, I got something in my teeth. What are these people going to think? They're going to think I'm, you know, no good, and they're all going to, thank you, Severina. So, you know, and it's those kind of things that will just, if you allow it, will just stop you in your tracks. So that's the kind of stuff that we have to go after, you know. And when it was that point of, and I often talk about this, you know, that I reached a point in my, okay, well, good. Thank you, everybody. So that's just me being hypersensitive, right? but I remember hitting that point where it just felt like that no matter what I was doing, nothing was moving forward. And what I realized, I had a belief that if I got bigger than what I could handle pretty much on my own, then I wouldn't be able to handle it. And the whole thing would just dissolve underneath my feet. It would just crumble. And what I realized was that my next action step was to start adding full-time team members and start growing my team. And I had experiences with people that didn't show up, or they didn't do what they said they were going to do, or left me holding the bag. And there was a belief. So underneath, there was a belief that I would not be able to attract people that I could trust, that my ability to pick good, dependable people, I did not have a good ability of picking good, dependable people. And I was just better off keeping it small where I didn't have to depend on anybody. But I was so dissatisfied at that level. So I had to dig in and go after that belief and really start working with changing the way I saw myself, changing my self-identity that said I was really good at hiring people. I was good at attracting people who would really serve my clientele. I mean, serve you. Yes, they're serving me, but ultimately they're serving you. And that it was, that to get beyond that, it was so much bigger than just me, but it was really about serving a vision and a mission. And to basically get over myself and know that there were tons of really good people that would be on fire with helping in this capacity. And as I began to work with that new belief in the land of my imagination and zip myself into the skin of the woman who was really good at picking dependable people, that's who I've now attracted. You know, I've got Severina. We've hired other team members that are doing, you know, the behind the scenes kind of work, which is allowing me. Yes, well, you're not out there anymore, Severina. You're in here. You know, but I spent a good 18 months just banging the walls thinking, what am I not doing? And why can I not get this? And that's when I got the offer to go to work for somebody else. And I got to tell you, it was real attractive. And I am so grateful that I didn't let that part of me win, because we had a team meeting this morning with two members of my team, including, you know, Severina and another woman that I'm bringing on as contract. And I was in the middle of that thinking, oh my God, I'm creating this. I'm doing this. I am creating a company, number one, that's providing livelihood for people. And number two, that is increasing our capacity to serve the dreams of even more people. And if I would have let that belief that said, you know, you're no good at this, just stay where you are, or go to work for somebody else. If I would have let that belief win, I would not be doing this for sure. And we would not be doing the things that we're doing to increase the level of service that we're bringing people and to increase the number of people that we're able to serve. So there's something on the other side. And here's the thing about that belief. That belief served you. In some way, shape, or form, it served you. And now it's no longer serving you. And you don't want to spend a long time digging for them. You don't have to stay stuck digging for that belief. It's a matter of getting clear, get the vision, and then ask, who is the person living that vision, and what does that person believe about themselves? Then, as you're seeing that, the belief that's not in alignment with it will pop up and start talking. And now you're able to talk back to it and say, nope, this is what I know to be true. That may have served me at some point, but it no longer serves me. And now this is what I know to be true. So number 3, go after those limiting beliefs. And most importantly, begin to work with a statement that you know is true. Begin to work with a belief that Even though not all of you is convinced, deep down, there is that in you that knows this is my truth. All right, number 4, I'm looking at my notes. And so if you want this, put the word persistent in the comment section and we'll get you the training notes and access to upcoming masterclass. All right, number 4, look at your daily routine and ask yourself, is there something that you know you should be doing that you're not doing? Now, this is not a matter of shooting on yourself, but it is a matter of taking a really good, honest assessment of your actions on a daily basis. And there's this nagging voice in the background that is saying, this is your next step. This is your next step. Now, here's the deal. That limiting belief will keep you from taking that next step. That's why going after the limiting beliefs and putting on a new identity comes before identifying the action step. Or you could flip them. You could identify the action step and then look at the belief that you've been telling yourself to keep you from doing that action step. And then most importantly, replacing it with a new belief. That's the most important piece. Even if you don't know exactly what the belief is, you know the person who took that action step, that person knows some things that you can tap into and start zipping yourself into the skin of the man or the woman who's doing those actions. Like, I know that the woman who created the degree of business that I would love to create because it's impact, that woman had a new belief, and I'm putting that on, of being the woman who attracts remarkable people, who knows how to hire and knows how to run a team. And guess what? I'm doing it. Awkward, sometimes afraid, sometimes wondering, oh my God, what am I doing? But nevertheless, working with the belief on a daily basis, zipping myself into the skin of that woman, zipping yourself into the skin of the man or the woman who created that result. You know this is your next action step. And you fill in the blank and you cause yourself to do it. Even if you're afraid and awkward. I had a client come over last night. When a client signs up to work with me for a year at a Lonnie, we've got to get your date on the calendar. At a very high level, I bring them over to my house. And this was a woman who works with me who's here locally. And we spent a good 2 hours just digging into her dream. And oh my gosh, the voices were and the beliefs, as with all of us. And the remarkable thing is, guess what? You get to know different, and to watch her put on, all right, this is what I'm believing. This is what I know. And then to know, so here's what I want you to know. When that belief is talking really loud, come back and borrow my belief. Borrow my belief. Yes, Kathy, borrow my unwavering belief in you, Kathy, that as you think it up, the power in you knows how to bring it into the land of your facts. So when you can't find it on your own, dig into my belief, because I'm standing here with you with unwavering belief in you and your ability to bring in what you're imagining into the land of your facts, which leads us to number 5. To remember the source of your desire. I talk about this probably on almost every single live, to understand that your desire was generated from this life force itself. And here's the other thing to understand. As that desire is generated from the very life force that woke you up this morning, the universe is friendly to your plans. Let me say this again. The universe is friendly to your plans. Now, that means everything is generated from the field of love. Even during those times when it feels like you're slugging it through molasses in December and you just feel that part of you wanting to get so disappointed. When I look back over those 18 months of just in the midst of a highly calibrated structured support, and I'm still investing highly in myself, and things just weren't moving. When I look back over that period of time, I am so grateful. Not only did I not give up, but I'm grateful for what I learned and the muscles that I grew. I needed that training period in order to be able to be the woman to create and sustain this level of success. Bob Proctor once said, you better be grateful for the problems you have today, because these are going to look like small potatoes as you keep growing up the scale of evolution, and new problems arise that are a fit for who you've become. So it's understanding the nature of your desire, and then it's understanding that everything is orchestrated in a field of love to support you and your growth, in order to not only be the man or the woman to create those results, but then to be the man or the woman to be able to be fully present to sustain and deeply experience those results. All right, so if any of this is resonating with you, drop some thumbs up, some hearts. If you want my training notes, put the word persistent in the comment section, and we'll make sure we get those to you, and access to my upcoming masterclass. All right, so let's do a review. You're slugging it out. Things are not moving the way that you want them to. It just feels like it's taking forever. And you're wondering if you should give it up, if you should go do something else, go back to what worked before. And you just, that soul-sucking sense of discouragement and disappointment. What do? Number one, remind yourself why you want this in the first place. Go back and fan the flame of desire until you couldn't imagine your life without this. Number two, let me go back to my notes. Notice and celebrate the small changes along the way. And here's what's fun. The small change today is actually like a monumental change when you were at the beginning of your progression. Hey, Deanna, so glad to see you. Deanna, you understand this when it comes to training your body and training for your weightlifting competitions. So it's paying attention, and it's also doing a longer view of, here are the small changes, but when I look at it in the longer view, this is actually a major shift compared to where I was, say, 5, 6, 7 years ago, as you stay on this path to transformation. Number three, start asking, what's the belief that I'm being asked to take on, and the belief to transform? Do not get stuck there. Do not think you have to change the belief or you have to figure it out to keep moving forward. Identify a new belief that, even if it's not exactly on, it'll get you moving, because it will reveal the ones that are not working for you, and you keep overlaying the new with the old, which then will lead you to number four. What action do I know I should be taking that I'm not, and become willing to take that action? And that's 5, not 4. Number 5, remember the origin of your desire, knowing that it is life itself seeking richer for your fuller expression by means of you, and that the universe is orchestrating, designing your curriculum perfectly in order to grow you into the person that's a match for what you say you really want. All right, my name is Felicia Searcy. It is my joy and delight to be your partner in believing. Remember, when your belief wavers, borrow my belief, because I stand with here knowing that as you think it up, the power that generated that idea in the first place knows how to bring it into the facts of your life. We will be live again next week. The time is going to be changing because I'm serving a group in Vegas, but if you're on my list, you'll get notification as to when that live will be happening. And of course, you can always watch the replay. All right, have Adele, yes, you'll get these notes, Adele, and good to have you on the masterclass. All right, so, all right, everybody, each one of you, have a fabulous, fabulous rest of the day, and I'll see you next time on live. Mwah. Take care.